Well, it's September, and for most places in North America, that means that it's going to be deer season. So it opens at different times in different places. Here in Saskatchewan, some of our zones open in the middle of the month, some of them open September 1st for archery. And we've actually had a few days to hunt here already. On opening day of the season, my daughter took a really nice velvet buck. It was her first deer that she's ever shot. It's the first year she's ever been allowed to hunt here in Saskatchewan because she's 12. Her friend shot the same night. One of her friends shot her first deer. It was a nice hardhorn buck. And then actually just last night, Cole Peterson took a really, really nice velvet deer, his first Saskatchewan deer. So we've already had a really good start. We've got some hunting with the kids, so that's been great. In September, we're not going to do a lot of deer management things. We're not going to be doing plots. We're not going to be doing any kind of habitat improvement because this is the time of year where we can take all of that work and start to put it into action and start to actually kind of see the results and the rewards from it. So we're going to start hunting. So early in the year, early in September, when those deer in velvet, there's a big shift coming. When those deer in velvet, when they start shedding the velvet, they go into hardhorn, they make a big change. Their attitude makes a big change. They start going from those summer feeding patterns into their fall routines. So we want to be careful that we're paying attention to that. We want to be set up for those early season bucks, but we also want to understand and be prepared that there's going to be a big change. Our combines are out, the crops are going down, their food sources are changing at a rapid pace. And so is their whole focus. All summer they've been focused on food, bed, food, bed. September, that's largely the focus, but they're also starting to be interested in their fall activities. They're going to be starting to check out their rubs. They're going to be starting to look around their scrapes. They're going to start their prep work for fall. And we want to make sure that we're kind of in line with that and we're in the right places to capitalize on that. So we don't want to go into the early season with an early season plan and have those deer make that shift, change what they're doing, change their food sources while we're still in our early season plan. So we want to make sure that we're right with them as they make those changes. I often believe that, to take a nice target buck, the first day of the season is your best odds, and they go down a little bit every day after that. And a lot of that depends on how you're set up, but the first day, everything is fresh. You've got a wealth of information ready to go after just that deer. When you start hunting, you start losing information because you're in a stand. So you're not on the field watching that deer. You're not out scouting. You're in that stand. So as it progresses, you're essentially losing some information on that deer on any changes he's making. So if things aren't going well, get out of the stand, take a step back, spend a couple days, go back to scouting and see if there's something there that you're missing or something that's changed that you can change or adapt to that's going to help you take that buck. Another thing we'll start doing in September is really cataloging our trail camera pictures of specific bucks. Now, we keep our pictures all year long, but in the fall, in the season, September, October, November, we're going to really kind of organize those photos into which buck was where, what day, and what those weather conditions were, because a lot of times some of our target bucks, we've been watching them for 5 or 6 years or 3 years, and you can really develop a pattern. Every deer has its own personality. They have their own things that they like to do in different weather conditions, and it can be really hard to pick that apart unless you actually take that snapshot and record what that deer was doing. And it's a little bit of work, but it really is not a big deal, and it takes us a couple hours a week to go through all those bucks and catalog them. But the most interesting part that we get out of that is on that snapshot over time, the patterns that we get to see emerge for those different bucks. And they're from deer to deer, they're completely different. But if you watch a buck for 2 or 3 or 4 years or more, if you have that information and it's finally the year you're going to target that buck, you'll be really surprised by the patterns you've picked out and the amount of help that it can help you to have an encounter with that target buck. And it is September, it is deer season here, so this segment's going to be shorter because we want to get back in the field. But it's a great month because all of our work all year round on plots or habitat improvement or passing up deer, the next 3 months are when we get to really enjoy, the fruits of all that labor, and we get to be in the tree, get to be in a blind, and get to just enjoy deer. So feel free, as always, to ask any questions you might have on hunting deer in September or deer management in September. You can go to the ExcaliburCrossbow.com website, send them a question, they'll get it to me, or their Facebook page or our Facebook page. Or anywhere you see this segment posted, go in the comments, ask your question. We'll get back to every question. We don't always have time to answer them in the segment, but we will answer them, whether it's through an email or through those social media channels. And good luck out there in September, wherever you're hunting deer.